Anything is possible. It started with a dream.
Hello and welcome to another video from Sandra at SandrasCraftStudio. Today I'm joining in a video hop with my friends over at the Crafters Video Collaboration. With Thanksgiving coming up for my American friends, today's theme is thankful, grateful and blessed. So let me get you down onto the craft table and I'll show you what I'm sharing with you today. So for my card today, we have a standard piece of A4 cardstock cut slightly less than half at 10 centimeters. Or if you're in the US and you're in imperial measurements, you will be cutting that at 4 inches instead of 4 1/4 inches. And it's scored in half just as usual. So it's the full length of the card. And scored with my bone folder like so. You will need to cut a piece of cardstock measuring 10.7 by 8 centimeters or 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 and scored down the center at 4 centimeters or 1 5/8. Want to make sure those lines, the edges all line up, and this will be our extra piece. So before we start, I'm going to do my liner for the inside of the card while it's all flat. So here's my piece of Whisper white card for a panel to go inside, and I have 2 pieces of the cardstock that I'm going to be using. This is our Misty Moonlight and this is our Flowers for All Seasons. So if I put a little bead of tombow multi-purpose adhesive along the edge here, I'm going to place this on the edge, just leaving a small border, and that will be for my card. I have the additional pieces, these pieces to go on the front of my card and these pieces to mat onto there. So I'll stick these 2 together first. We have a Misty Moonlight layer, 9.2 centimeters by 11 centimeters. And then again, this is just slightly smaller at 9 centimeters. I've left it at the 11 just because it was easier to cut the sizes. The top really doesn't matter if it doesn't match up. Just so long as we leave a small border around the outside edge. So these 2 pieces need to be measured into the center. So these will have tape right through the middle here. Right over those center marks. By going over the edges onto the mat, I will be able to lift it up easily and wrap the ends of the ribbon around the reverse of the layers. So here is my Misty Moonlight ribbon. Being Stampin' Up products, as I've said earlier, they coordinate so beautifully with the colours of the cardstock. So that's one layer, and then the top layer here to go through and trim that. I'll lift this off and wrap those ends around the back. So I will place some adhesive on the back here, just short of the extra piece on the side here. That can attach inside there just this side of the fold, like so. And then again on the inside here. Now I'm going to be making my tag. This is our Lovely Labels Pick a Punch, and it's got 3 tracks on each of the patterns, and it works to 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch and 1 inch. So I'm going to place these down the track in there. This is the 1 inch. We'll just turn it over. I do like to check on the back that they are nice and even either side. Like so. I'm going to check my sentiment first. And that's stamped in the Magenta Madness ink pad that corresponds with the cardstock that I've used today. So that's going to sit on there. So we'll place this tag on here. I don't want it stuck all the way down, just about halfway. So once again, I'm bringing in my Misty Moonlight ribbon. We'll tie a bow. I have my glue dots, and I will uncover 2 of these and attach that to the back here, just so that they're slightly overlapping to cover the joint. And there is our finished card. Our theme today was all about being thankful and being grateful. Now, in the current times we find ourselves in with COVID-19, I've been very grateful and thankful for one of my demonstrator colleagues, Rebecca, who has introduced me to a particular brand of pocket hand sanitizers. I have been buying several of these to give as gifts, so I'm grateful for being introduced and receiving one. So today we're going to make a small little box to accompany our card. My piece of card measures 16.5 centimetres by 9 centimetres, or 6.5 inches by 3 5/8 inches. I've scored along the top edge here, the long edge, at 9 centimetres and 9.5 centimetres, or 2 3/4 and 3 3/4. I've then turned, and along the short edge I have scored at 2.5 centimetres and 6.5 centimetres, or 1 inch and 2 5/8 inches. So now I need to snip these to the centre score line on both sides. I turn these flaps out of the way. I taper my tab, so I'm taking it from the outside edge into the point. And I liken this to being called a flower pot. So there was our tab, and I taper the tab to create a flower pot. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I'll now put a small amount of adhesive on this tab and bring up this side to be square. And then the same on the other side, a small amount of adhesive, and bring this side up to be square. Now these 2 outside edges are going to come around the outside here to wrap round. And these are 2 matte layers that I'm going to place on them. The Misty Moonlight layers are 3.7 centimetres by 6.7 and the designer series paper at 3.4 by 6.4. I like the front to be where the sides go away from you. So I will put on the back, I will put a small piece of tear and tape in the middle. Again, a piece of our Misty Moonlight ribbon, covering the adhesive, and turn it round to attach to the front. I'm going to apply 1 mini glue dot into the centre, and that will just help us when we tie our bow. And here's our hand sanitizer, just to slide in our little gift, and we bring back on our card. I hope you've enjoyed my tutorial today. If this is your first visit, please click on the subscribe button below. And if you ring the bell too, you will be notified of future videos when I release them. Your next stop today in the Crafters Video Collaborators video hop will be listed as the first item in the description below, together with all my contact details. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye for now.